Hello and welcome to the News at 5. I'm Olumide Macaulay. Thank you for joining us. The Nigerian Safety Investigation Bureau, NSIB, says 12 people were injured out of 583 passengers on board the Asham train that derailed in Abuja. Now, the Director General of the NSIB, Captain Alex Bade Jr., disclosed this while giving updates on the ongoing investigation. He explained that an investigator in charge has been appointed to lead the probe, working alongside relevant stakeholders, including the Nigerian Railway Corporation. Now, according to him, the team has already taken evidence protection measures, such as securing the site and preserving critical data, including CCTV footage and other material that could help determine the cause of the derailment. The NSIB says its final report will be released within 23 days and will be shared with the NRC, regulatory authorities, and the general public. Border communities hold a critical role in safeguarding Nigeria's security and must be fully integrated into the nation's defense strategy. That's according to the Chief of Defense Operations, Major General Emeka Onumajuru, who appeared on our breakfast program, Sunrise Daily. He stressed that empowering border communities to work with security agencies will help curb the influx of criminals and enhance intelligence gathering.
Border communities must be recognized as a developmental zone in the sense that without developing border communities, without carrying them on board, like you clearly observe, there is little chance of enhancing border security. How I wish you can have access to the signed communique. You will see what I'm telling you in black and white, that the conference, they recognize the important roles that border communities will play. And it's of the view that it should not just be policed. The border zone should be developed. If they are developed, if the locals are part of the process, then the chances of success is much higher. Now, having said that, I think the question will be, how do we implement this? How do we ensure that the border communities are co-owners of the process? How do we ensure that the border community are developed? I know back here at home there are agencies meant to look at how to develop border communities. How do we get those agencies functioning? So as long as the border communities do not feel that they have a stake in the process, then our chances are much low. But if we're on the right track by ensuring that first they are enlightened, they have the necessary socio-economic amenities they need to function, we'll win them over, then our chances are much more higher. So I do agree that border communities have a key role to play in this entire process.
Police operatives attached to the Rapid Response Squad, of course, you have arrested 4 male suspects and recovered arms and ammunition in Awka. According to the Anambra State Police Command, the CP, PRO, SP Tochukwu Ikenga, the arrest was based on credible intelligence on a case of kidnapping where a ransom of 5 million naira was paid before the victims were released. The suspects have confessed to the crime and narrated how they conspired amongst themselves on the 12th of August 2025 at about 7 p.m. and kidnapped 2 victims in Awka, kept them for 2 days in a forest in Enugu State, and collected ransom before they were released. The Commissioner of Police has commended the operatives for their resilience and reassured residents of the command's unwavering commitment to rid the state of criminal elements and ensure the safety of all residents. Meanwhile, the Anambra State Governor, Professor Chukuma Soludo, has inspected ongoing projects at the Uga Boys Secondary School, one of the 22 schools being upgraded to a model smart school. The governor, who expressed satisfaction at the pace and quality of work, disclosed that the project will be delivered by the end of the year.
You can say more than 10 buildings going on here simultaneously. Gaboy Secondary School is going to be a super smart school. And from the story buildings as hostels and that main blocks and, the library, the backing is the new library, the staff quarters. I think these are things forgotten in our school system, where you have the principals, residents, the staff quarters. We're just trying to put this up as a major model. Already, right now, we have about 20-something smart schools going on all over the state. But, and this one will be certainly one of them. We're actually pushing them to finish much earlier. I wouldn't take this extending beyond the deadline of November, for example. We will not take that. And we're pushing them hard because, as I also said to them, the contractors, is when you finish one, speed with accuracy, then you get entitled to do more job.
After that, the governor inspected Solution Stadium in Ekulobia. He commended the workers for their dedication to hard work and valuable skills, noting that it's a better path than criminal agitation.
We'll empower you, we'll train you, we'll a human being. Human beings don't live in the bush. No. Only criminals live in the bush. Yes. They are criminals. I don't tell you anything that they are fighting for. They're not fighting for anything. They are kidnappers. Criminals. That's who they are. So I appreciate you. No, I put that. And then join to make a living. You work hard. He who does not work, let him not eat. So I appreciate you. I appreciate everywhere I go and I see youths working. I appreciate you. Anambra is one large construction site. One huge construction site.
Now to the investigations on the Nigerian Safety Investigation Bureau concerning the 12 people who were injured after the 583 passengers on board the train that derailed in Abuja. The Director General of the NSIB explained that an investigator in charge has been appointed to lead the probe.
The ongoing investigation, as outlined in Part 5 of the regulation, will include detailed inspection of the site, switch, track geometry and infrastructure, review of NRC records, crew, station, control, maintenance and operational data, technical examination of locomotives, coaches and other rolling stock, interviews with crew, staff, responders, passengers and witnesses, with statements taken under affirmation where required. Correlation of all evidence, including organizational information from the operator, to determine causal and contributing factors. The final report will then be released by the Director General of the NSIB to recipients, including the Minister, the operator, international bodies if applicable, and made publicly available. As Director General of the NSIB, I would like to use this opportunity to urgently plead with the government and all relevant stakeholders to immediately address the critical shortfall in funding, which will enable the NSIB to procure advanced investigation equipment and adequately train our dedicated investigators. Any inaction on this front will inevitably lead to more accidents and more injuries, and tragically preventable loss of life amongst Nigerians who realize unsafe transportation.
To politics, where some concerned PDP stakeholders have demanded for a smooth takeoff of the National Convention and opposed the micro-zoning of the party's presidential ticket. Other demands include the conduct of the Ekiti State Local Government Areas Congress in accordance with the court judgment, as well as fresh and legitimate Southeast Zonal Congresses. The stakeholders stated that the National Working Committee must conduct fresh Congresses in Ebonyi and Anambra and adopt the Congress held in Calabar, Cross River, as declared by the court. Reading the communique on behalf of the group, the former governor of Benue State, Samuel Otom, says failure to comply with the above resolutions and demands shall render any further purported National Convention invalid.
For a second time, the Minister of the Federal Capital Territory is hosting some members of the People's Democratic Party under the aegis of the concerned PDP stakeholders from across the 36 states of the Federation and the FCT at his official residence in Abuja. Those in attendance include the former governors of Benue and Abia states, Mr. Samuel Otom and Mr. Okeze Ikpazu, present and former federal lawmakers, Rivers State lawmakers led by the Speaker of the House, some PDP party state chairmen, amongst others.
This is a meeting of like minds in the People's Democratic Party. We have met before and we to reconvene to discuss about the state of affairs of our party and how we can forge ahead.
Thereafter, the meeting then resolves into a closed-door session. After about 3 hours, the meeting reconvenes and a communique is read by the former governor of Benue State, Mr. Samuel Otom.
Our resolutions and demands. 1. We call on the National Working Committee to urgently conduct fresh, transparent, and inclusive congresses in Ebonyi State and Anambra. 2. The Ekiti State Local Government Area Councils Congress should be conducted immediately on zoning of party offices, whereas we further and very strongly hold that there should be no form of micro-zoning for peace and stability within the party. It is pertinent to caution that failure to comply with the above resolutions and demands shall render any purported national convention invalid, as legitimate members of the party would be disenfranchised.
Other demands include the adoption of the South-South Zonal Congress held in Calabar, Cross River State, and the fresh conduct of the Southeast Zonal Congress, as the group believes it is on these conditions that the proposed PDP National Convention, scheduled for November 2025, can hold hitch-free. From Abuja, Kumbi Aboluade, Channels Television News.
Now, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Ambassador Yusuf Tugger, before we go to that story, indeed, is hosting a high-level inaugural seminar with the theme Anticipatory Cyber and Digital Diplomacy for Strengthening the Country's Foreign Policy. In attendance are the Minister of Justice and Attorney General Lateef Fagbemi, the British High Commissioner to Nigeria Richard Montgomery, and some members of the diplomatic community. According to him, the seminar is aimed at contributing to Nigeria's foreign policy on balancing the interplay between digital sovereignty and interdependence owing to the rise of a globally interconnected digital landscape which presents unprecedented opportunities and complex challenges. Now, ahead of the commencement of the full migration from paper-based examination to computer-based tests by the West African Examination Council in 2026, the federal government has thrown its weight behind the new initiative introduced by the regional examination body. Addressing members of the National Assembly and critical stakeholders at an awareness-creating meeting in Abuja, the Minister of Education says the computer-based test, which is set to commence nationwide in 2026, will strengthen and transform the architecture of student assessment in Nigeria's education sector. The minister adds that the federal government is supporting the computer-based conduct of WAEC examinations in order to eradicate examination malpractices, in addition to protecting the credibility of the examination. You're watching the news at 5. Coming up, NNPCL and Total Energies, as well as Petro, seal new PSC for deepwater. Please stay with us. Welcome back to the news at 5. Traditional rulers in the Southeast have asked the federal government to work with state and local governments to ensure its agricultural support program reaches real farmers at the grassroots. Speaking to journalists shortly after the 2025 New Yam Festival celebration, the chairman of the Abia State Traditional Rulers Council appeared to appeal to government at all levels to provide farm equipment, soft loans and grants to support food production.
advise federal government to make sure that this money they are giving should go straight to the people that are willing to plant, are willing to go to the farm, not through agent or through any ministry. I will also use this opportunity to thank my own governor, His Excellency. For the past 2 years, he started this administration. How they have changed. How they have changed. As you are coming now, if you pass this road, you came this time. Last year, it wasn't like that. It wasn't passable. But now, a lot of roads is going up right down to local area. Umuahia have given a new face. Aba has a new face. Health centers are everywhere. Education is doing it. Insecurity. Abia is the safest place in Nigeria today.
Give us loan with the barest minimal payment level so that we can get the loan, cultivate and pay them back. Not the loan that they will bring and the big men there will go and take it up and do whatever they want to do with it. I mean, come to the grassroots, give them loan. By next year, you will see a lot that we have achieved on that. But you cannot do much without having the government loan, government assistance. So I pray that we should have it.
Yes. Governor Malabuni of Yobe State has assured citizens of the state that his administration will continue to adopt a bottom-top approach to ensure its budget remains inclusive. The governor, represented by the secretary to the state government, Mr. Baba Malamwali, disclosed this in Damaturu, the state capital, during the 2026 budget dialogue in collaboration with Action Aid Nigeria, and the network of civil society organizations.
Including women groups and persons with disabilities, are meeting here to dialogue on the 2026 budget preparation supported by Action Aid Nigeria. The Permanent Secretary of the State Ministry of Budget and Economic Planning, Mr. Hamidou Babi, revealed that the government is working towards prioritizing the internally generated revenue to lessen the over-dependence on the monthly allocation from the federal government.
This is backed by the economic principles of scarcity and choice. Therefore, scale of preference must be adopted so that the least prioritized projects and programs are foregone through the accounting doctrine of cost and benefit analysis, with hope that a true value for money is achieved. Therefore, by setting clear priorities, we aim not only to maintain a financial stability, but also to achieve sustainable growth that benefits all the citizens of the state.
The project manager for Action Aid Nigeria, who supported the dialogue, pledged to give Yobe State government all the necessary backings by ensuring citizens take part in the 2026 budget processes.
Your voices and experiences are critical. By sharing your challenges, you enable the states, that's through the Ministry of Budget and Economic Planning, to better understand the needs of the people, the good people of Yobe State, communities, and to advocate for solutions that are not only effective but also respectful of your dignity and rights.
The secretary to the Yobe State governor is representing Governor Mai Malabuni at the event, and he explained that the administration will continue to strive for inclusivity in governing the state.
I would like to assure all participants and the entire good people of Yobe State that we have been resolved to continue with our bottom-up approach to ensure that the budget reflects the priorities of the people who this administration is ever determined to serve. I therefore wish to enjoin all participants to continue to exhibit maturity in making their contribution as well noted in the previous exercises.
The highlights of the occasion is the presentation of the citizens' needs by the network of civil society organizations to the Yobe State government.
The increase of minimum wages in Imo and Ebonyi states is a welcome development considering other states have been urged to follow suit. That's according to the Director General of the Nigeria Employers Consultative Association, Adewale Smart Yerunde, who also believes that there is no excuse for states to stay in the 70,000 naira salary range. Mr. Yarunde, who was a guest on our breakfast program, The Morning Brief, recommends that subnationals should train, equip, and improve the capacity of their workers.
It's a good development within the context of the socio-economic situation that we currently face. So we welcome that move, and we also urge, and that was what prompted our urge that other states whose inflow also have increased proportionately should do more within the context of not only increase the minimum wage for the state workers, but address key fundamental issues, because it's in the best interest of those state governments that they see the civil service as the engine that drives that system. So if you see it from that perspective, you realize then it becomes important for you to address the issues that concerns that engine. So no state really have no excuse in the context of the current realities to stay at that 70,000. Beyond the context of the minimum wage that we're talking about, I think it's also important for the states to pay attention to human capital development at their states. Because you build infrastructure, at a point infrastructures will decay. If you don't train the workers, if you don't improve the capacity of those workers, then you are basically sabotaging yourself. I think our focus should change and interrogating what exactly matters to us in 10 years' time as a nation. And those things that matter to us should be the capacity of our people. You know, if you don't train them, then build the best of infrastructure. The people you don't train will run down those infrastructures. Our expectation is that beyond just pulling the funds and increasing minimum wage, which is very necessary, a lot still needs to be done to equip the workers, as been done in the private sector, at the subnational level.
Welcome to Business News. The Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited, in partnership with Total Energies and South Atlantic Petroleum, has finalized a new production sharing contract, PSC, for deepwater petroleum prospecting licenses 2000 and 2001. The agreement, signed under the supervision of the Nigerian Upstream Petroleum Regulatory Commission, represents a significant milestone in the implementation of the Petroleum Industry Act, the PIA. Now, the Commission Chief Executive, Mr. Gbenga Komolafe, says the deal marks a new chapter in Nigeria's upstream oil and gas industry, adding that President Bola Tinubu's 2024 Executive Orders, number 40 on fiscal incentives, number 41 on local content, and number 42 on cost efficiency and contract timelines have catalyzed massive investment inflows for shared prosperity. The Director General of the Securities and Exchange Commission, Dr. Momotimi Agama, has refuted claims that securing a license for crypto exchange in Nigeria is prohibitively expensive. Speaking in an exclusive conversation on Business Morning, he stressed that the cost of obtaining approvals is not high, adding that the Commission's focus is on ensuring compliance, investor protection, and building a transparent framework to encourage innovation in Nigeria's digital asset market.
We must plan appropriately regulation that will help the Nigerian youths, who are all innovators, if you want to say it that way, right? Who are yearning to do something new, to come into this space. So they all play in different leagues, and those different leagues will be taken care of appropriately. But while we are also saying that, we're also saying that there is strength in combination, there is strength in partnership, there is strength in collaboration. This is important even for the local investors and the local innovators. It is important that you look exactly at what you're doing. Is there a value in partnering? Is there a value in collaborating? Is there a value in coming together to build a stronger institution with stronger governance and stronger structures that will compete favorably with any other institution internationally or wherever? It is not enough to have an idea and to just want to jump in, onto the scale. It is important that we understand that that idea will it run fast. And it's often said, and it's an old adage, if you want to run fast, you can go alone. But if you want to run far, you must go with others.
To the currency market now, the U.S. dollar steadied around a multi-week low today. as investors assess the prospects of an upcoming lowering in U.S. interest rates and uncertainty around the U.S. trade tariffs. The U.S. dollar index, which measures the greenback against a basket of major currencies, traded 0.6% higher, but was not far from a 5-week low touched on Monday. Elsewhere, the euro weakened against the dollar in the wake of fresh Eurozone inflation data, while sterling fell 1.0%. Finally, wheat futures fell nearly 1% on Tuesday, today, reversing a brief rally as markets reopened after the U.S. holiday. The decline reflects growing optimism over global supplies, with harvests in major producing nations, regions, including Australia, expected to exceed average levels. Meanwhile, building global supplies suggest broader commodity prices could remain under downward pressure through 2025, with food commodity indices pointing towards easing since earlier in the year. That's it on the News at 5. Thank you for watching. I'm Olumide McCall.